Welcome everyone to this presentation on Frontend United, the energy of the people. My name is Mathieu Spellebeen, and in my everyday life I am a freelance Drupal frontend developer. I'm also one of the organizers of Frontend United and Reunited, and I'm also the inventor of Compony.io. Now, Compony.io is an opinionated solution for Drupal frontend developers. So if you are one of those, please go and check it out, as I promise you will like it. Feel free to reach out over me on email or on Twitter. So, what shall I talk about today? Well, actually, I'm just going to tell you a story, how organizing a conference made me into a better person. Let's start here. Let's start at explaining what Frontend United is, and then let's move on from there. Frontend United is a conference where we invite the best speakers we can find on the planet, and we give them a stage in the Netherlands, in Europe. The conference has its roots in Drupal frontend, but is now hosting a range of frontend speakers that not have a lot to do with Drupal anymore. Our motto is spreading knowledge far and wide. And in order to spread it far and wide, we invited everyone in the frontend community to come and see these amazing speakers. And this is how that looks like. We invited everyone in the world, but as you can see, we faced a bit of a problem, because almost everyone in the room was white. Now, what does this mean? Well, we know for a fact that not everyone in the world is white. So it means that we didn't reach a global audience. Now, we had a look at our data to see where all of these white people came from that bought a ticket. And this is what we found. We sold tickets to almost everywhere in Europe, one to someone in Africa, a few to people in Northern America, and that's it. But as you can see, that's a very poor representation of the world. For example, no one came from India. Why is that? Why didn't loads of people come to Europe from India? Well, let me tell you why people from India didn't come over to Europe. They would burn up a lot of time planning their trip. They would also burn through a lot of personal energy being on the road. They would burn up through their budget for flights, they would burn up costs for accommodation. They would also burn up a lot of mental fuel trying to get there. And not to mention the fossil fuel. Now, we know that flying is bad for the environment. There are already a lot of people with burnout in our industry. And we want it to be easy on everyone's budget, because Frontend United is a non-profit after all. So we needed to come up with a different approach. So up until last year, our question was, why didn't you come to us? Why didn't the whole world come to us? But what if we turn that question around? What if we ask the question like this? What if we come to you? If we come to you, would you be interested in following our top-notch conference from the first row for free? Well, I can't hear your response obviously because this is a recording, but I can imagine some of you watching might say yes. But only if it's possible. So how did we make this possible? Well, in our minds, if you organize an event in your hometown, let's say Delhi in India, where people from your local community can get together and have a good time, we will bring the conference to you. We will make sure you can watch from the first row through a live stream. The only thing you would need is a place where people can get together and where you have decent internet. So, how will we bring the event to you? A few steps are involved. We can start with a name. Instead of Frontend United, we will name your event Frontend Reunited Delhi, for example. And we'll even throw a logo on top. Now, the Re in Frontend Reunited stands for remotely reunited with everyone in the community. Next, we will make sure that during your event in Delhi, for this example, you will be getting a high quality live stream. And not some shitty live stream on Facebook Live taken with a smartphone and crappy audio. No. We will get you a professional crew called Here to Record from the first row with good lighting, high quality recording, and with 3 different camera angles. It looks a bit like this. So this is an example from on our first row. Video doesn't seem to work. Typical. Here we go. This is a view from the first room. This is Vitaly presenting. As you can see, the cameras are switching from one point to another. Another example here is Trevor Gordon in the second room. And you can see you have a better visual of the presenter through the live stream almost than if you would be in the actual event in the Netherlands. Now, okay, so you got a live stream, but how about actually participating? I think, or I believe, that being far away shouldn't mean you shouldn't be able to participate. Therefore, we are working together with a questions platform. A platform for every attendee to ask questions on. And that looks a little something like this. So you can go to slido.com, you can fill in the code for the event, Frontend Reunited, for example. You ask your question, how does this work, for example. Then you can also upvote other questions. You have a little thumb. Once all the questions are asked, then in the Netherlands we have an MC that will walk on stage, that you will also see on this live stream, and they will ask the most upvoted questions to the speaker after their session. And then the speaker responds, also on the live stream. Alright, so, quick recap. There will be a live stream coming into your hometown with exclusive world-class sessions. Everyone is able to participate, and you even have your own branding. So what do you actually still have to do to make this event happen, for example, in Delhi? Well, you make sure you have a public space with a projector or a screen and a decent internet connection to show the live stream on, like the photo over here. Now, if that's not enough, you could find a local speaker and hold a local presentation yourself. Or maybe you could find 2 local speakers to have some local sessions. Or maybe you can have 2 different rooms with both a different live stream in, which you then supplement with live sessions, in-person sessions. Or maybe you could hold a workshop during the live stream for people that might be interested. However it fits in your local context, in your time frame, works for us. You could even organize a few workshops. However you want to compose your localized program, it's fine by us. Because I believe that flexibility is the mother of creativity. So however you want to organize your day, it's fine by us. And I will even do you one better. It's not just fine, I think it's awesome. And we'll do everything in our power to facilitate you in composing that schedule by giving you the possibility to fill in your custom time zone adapted program, and we will give you a web page that sums up all of that information. It looks like this. You see a web page, you have the location on there, you have the schedule on there. Schedule you can compose with localized talks. For example, these first 3, I believe, are localized talks. Then you have a live stream session, then a lunch break, and so on and so on. You even have multiple rooms in this one. Whatever size you want to organize it as, we love it. If your conference is going to be hanging on the company couch in your office with 4 colleagues, perfect. You want to organize a 500 people event with snacks, social program, local speakers, dope. Just to make this clear, this is not a sales talk. Frontend United is completely volunteer run, so we don't want anything financially from you. We are not selling the live stream. Our only intention is to share knowledge, far and wide. So that means that we don't rely on you financially. But neither should you rely on us financially. For example, if you would love to print t-shirts for your event, then maybe sell tickets to your local attendees. If you would like to pay your local speakers the fee, then maybe find yourself some sponsorship from a local company. Whatever extra you want to think of, it's fine by us. If you can find a sponsor to sponsor your t-shirts for the event with their logo on it, by all means, go for it. The more financial backing you can find, the more fun you can make it. But in essentials, you can just start from a small room with a TV screen and an internet connection. All right, I can hear the comments coming in. All right, idea, simple enough, but does it actually work? Well, yeah. This year, and now this recording is in 2019, Delhi actually participated, and it looked like this. They even went as far as making their own goodies. And you might think, all right, Delhi, yeah, that's all nice, that's all very good. But it's not just Delhi. This year, we were able to connect 15 different locations from across the globe. Each of the orange dots you see here on this map hosted their very own Frontend United, all on the same 2 days of the year. For me, this is the passion of our community at work, right here. So why would we do all of this? As the organizers of Frontend United, why would we do all of this? Because I believe there is a lot of value in this. And I think I can explain with an example that's very relevant in our community. I told you in the beginning I am a freelance developer, and I work mostly remotely for web agencies. So I had this discussion already a lot of times. The discussion of remote work. Usually everyone asks of me, could you work from in our office? If they want to hire me, of course. And I think it's not relevant for the boss that wants to hire me to see that we distract each other constantly when we are in the same space, or that we are all struggling in traffic every day trying to get to work. A CEO or a boss usually doesn't see that. The only relevant bit for a lot of company CEOs is that they can actually see you work, because often they're too lazy to measure the results of your work. But to be honest, for me, that's really, really stupid. We live in the digital age. My work can always be done remotely. I have that flexibility. There is nothing stopping me to work from home. Even better, I know that working from home, you can look up data for that, I will be 13% more productive. I'm one of those people. I won't be stuck in traffic most of the time. I will have a better work-life balance. And even a study has shown that 91% of people are more likely to be more productive when they work from home. Yet, very few bosses want to face that number and respect everyone's time and personal energy. On the left, I would label that as a company that is company-centered, a very selfish approach to working with people. I would almost say boss-centered. On the right, it's an approach that is centered around people, and it is way more respectful for individuals. Now, I'm not saying that if you don't want to work from home, that you should still work from home. No, there are people that can work better from home, and there are people that can't. But if in the scenario that you can work better from home, everyone should have that flexibility. Now, why do I give this example? Because I think it's the exact same comparison for connecting conferences with each other. When we do a conference, when we organize a conference in one location in the world, organizers don't seem to care on how much money, time and energy you, as an attendee, have spent getting to that conference. They also usually don't care that only the confident attendees will ask questions. They only seem to care about seeing you physically in the room, attending, just like working from in the office. And frankly, I find that a bit stupid too. If we organize a conference where multiple locations can watch the same content, then we respect everyone's time, energy, and localized budget. Anyone can ask questions. For example, we have quadrupled the participation of our attendees by allowing people to ask questions anonymously. And now I'm only talking about the local event in the Netherlands. We allow them to upvote the most interesting questions, and that's also a participation. And that's only looking at our own local event. The only downside of this column on the right is, as an organizer, I can't see you attending. So we take a very attendee-centered approach to things. And I believe that's the way forward. Now, I think this slide really sums up the practical reasons why I think holding these remote events is a good idea. But I also have some personal reasons. I believe that in the world there are things that divide us, and there are also things that unite us. And I have the pleasure to have a very strong personal interest in both. I know that we all differ culturally. My accent will be different than your accent. My intonations will be different than your intonations. My language might be completely different, my mother tongue. For a lot of use cases, for a lot of people that are going to see this video, you live in a different part in the world than I do. You are surrounded by different religions than I am. In everyday life, we have loads of differences. We have loads of different hobbies. But we have a bigger idea that unites us. And that idea is the web. The web, for me, is an amazing thing. Because no matter what skin color you have, you do your layout on the web with CSS. Or with tables, but usually with CSS. There are no cultural differences in how we implement Vue.js in each country. Whatever, if you're seeing this video, no matter what religion you practice, you probably like HTML because you're looking at a video from Frontend United. We tend to have a difficult time talking to people from a different religion than our own. Yet, when we speak about CSS, all of those boundaries, at least for me personally, completely disappear. We all work on this World Wide Web. But there is, in my eyes, a very strange thing going on. We all work on this international language of communication, yet very few of us have a lot of international friends. We like to think that our work can be accessed by anyone around the globe. Yet, in our next breath, we are not interested in the rest of the world. So we know that we make websites that communicate around the globe, but we know very little of this globe that uses our site. If you call yourself a web developer, but you don't know anything about the worldwide world where the web is being used, are you actually a web developer? It feels to me that there are loads of developers, but there are not a lot of web developers. I call myself a web developer because I try to understand the world around me as good as possible. I am using my hobby, front-end development, to learn from as many different cultures as I possibly can. And you have that choice too, to be a web developer, not just a developer. The more people you connect, the more you learn. Connecting people to me doesn't mean just bringing people into the same room. Connecting people to me means learning from other people by listening, really listening. We have a passion for our community, but we have a very diverse community. And Frontend United is a conference that is really connecting that community globally, using the technology we find so interesting. That's what I personally get from organizing Frontend United. I love connecting people all across the globe. I connect experiences together, and that to me is value enough to keep doing what I do. Now, there's some examples of how that global passion looks like, because this video is recorded only a month after Frontend United happened in all of these locations, so we did a bit of a retrospective with loads of them, because it's very hard to measure impact. So how did that look like? For example, this is Tsega. And he organized for the very first time in Addis Ababa, Frontend Reunited. He said this about the event. I'm very active in the community already, but it was really cool to see all of these amazing new faces. People were mostly from a younger generation, and it was great to connect with them. This is how that event looked like. This is just one of the rooms. Another event that happened was Delhi. Like I said, and this was organized by Shut Up. He said that everyone was excited to level up their skills and network with peers and were ready to catch up with the latest updates. In Delhi, India, the event looked like this. For me, this is just mind-blowing. For me, I almost don't believe that I helped made this happen. This event was actually a combination of 3 local talks and 5 live stream sessions. It's really cool that this happened, and even very close to them, just across their border, there was another event in Nepal. And that event was organized by Sogat and Catalan. Now, they said that during the first edition, they were able to connect 150 participants. In only 20 days, they were able to organize the biggest front-end conference ever in Kathmandu. And I think that's just mind-blowing. 150 people in 20 days. They finished their retrospective by saying that they genuinely moved people. And for me, I think that's amazing. If, for example, also the connecting of people together works in multiple ways and in multiple contexts. For example, Catalan, he had never even been to Nepal and normally lives in Romania, in Europe. But he knew some people there, so he thought, let's organize something 4,000 kilometers away in Nepal. And they had loads of local sessions, and they recorded all of them. So in there they were watching the live stream from Rachel Andrew live with a lot of people. That was one of our keynotes. Meet Ivan and Isabella. They organized, for example, the event in Colombia. And they said a lot of people came from out of town to be involved and got their questions answered. They even held 4 Spanish talks ourselves, and they will publish them soon. Now I, for example, have zero knowledge of the Spanish language, but yet I find it amazing that I was able to facilitate 4 Spanish talks from inside Colombia, like South America. For me, I'm baffled. Now, they even plan to make their local Spanish sessions part of the live stream next year, so other Spanish-speaking countries around their time zone can also participate. Nevena and Miroslav. I'm not going to go over all 15 of them, but just a few more. Nevena and Miroslav, they organized the event in Serbia, and they planned really big. They want next year to ask for a small fee to their attendees, just so we can donate something to charity. Like, why not? And they're also the people that made all the logos for each remote event. This is Alexander. He felt like he wanted to make all of those logos. And he gave every Reunited event a really professional look by giving them a customized, localized logo. And here you have Mariana. She's the global coordinator of communication of all the Frontend United sessions. And she made all of this possible. And I think that's amazing. I'm almost there. This is almost there in examples, I mean. This is Mark. He lives in Rwanda, and he believed so much in wanting to make this happen that he even invested financially his own personal money into the event just to make this happen. I'll stop soon, but I have just one more for you that I really want to highlight. This is Frank. And he said, for us in Burkina Faso, Frontend United was like a warning bell that told us, hey, wake up. The world is changing with the pace of technology. And then he said, we are awake now, and we don't want to go to sleep again. We are awake and we are hungry. Hungry for knowledge, hungry for technology. And now they're even working closely together with the country's ICT department for more funding and to make it bigger. In Burkina Faso, however, they had a language barrier, because there French is the official language, and our sessions were in English. So during every session, the people that were the most fluent in English helped out and translated to the attendees what was being said while it was being said. That's just, for me, that's the energy and the power of the people right there. So, you can be on here too. If you're watching this video, you think, I don't know if anyone's gonna be wanting to do this. No, you can be on this too. And you can bring Frontend United to your hometown and make it into something unique. It's not like impossible, it's right there. Because I really want to stress this, that Frontend United is not a company. It's not some official entity with a bunch of rules. No, Frontend United is you. The conference is not something divine that can't be touched. The conference is merely a tool to connect each other. And the tool is only as good as the people that use it. Frontend United is the sum of the energy of all the volunteers involved. And this is actually the most important thing of this whole presentation. If you're only listening now, or if you're skipping through something, go back 5 seconds. I'm just going to say it again. Frontend United is the sum of the energy of all the volunteers involved. And I would love your ideas to connect even more people. If you have ideas, what you want to do with this concept, let us know. You lead and we follow. Thank you very much for listening to my talk. If you are interested, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to an instance of Frontend United with any idea you have. We will get you in contact with local events that are also there. We will get you in contact with the organizers in the Netherlands. Feel free to just drop us a line and say either how much you like the event or what would you like to make from it. And that's the end of this presentation. Thank you very much.